Hi guys, welcome to my channel and welcome back to another video. Today I bring you part 2 of my eyeshadow collection. There is a part 1 to this video that I'm gonna be linking either down below or on the screen in case you haven't watched it. Comment down below if you wanna see more videos like this and if you wanna see more from my collection. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. If you subscribe to my channel, you will find plenty of beauty videos and other fun stuff. But now, let's get on with the video. I have this Tarte High Tides and Good Vibes eyeshadow palette. This is how it looks like. Again, this one was a gift. What I love the most, I think the packaging is gorgeous, but I'm gonna say that I do not like the shades or some of the shades in here as much as I like the packaging. Now the packaging is very heavy. It has 4 glitters here in the center, which I love. I do like these glitters in here. Now I'm gonna point out one that I definitely don't really necessarily like. I used a lot of words to say that, but this one serves up. I do like the color, but I don't think the payoff or it's not as vibrant as I would like it to be. Now it has blues in here, which I love, and I don't find a problem with the other shades. The other palette that I have from Tarte is this Clay Play face shaping palette, and this one is the original one, guys. And I know people were upset because they discontinued this one. They brought another one out, but they only changed a few shades in here, and it was a little bit of a disappointment. Most people enjoyed this original better, but anyways, I like the shades in here and I like the formula of this palette. This one is a neutral palette. You have cool tones, you have your neutral tones, you have warm tones. You also have these bronzers over here. This is the reason why I got rid of my Naked Basics. I'm pretty sure it's the name of that palette, because this is all the shades I need. I do not reach for cool tones more than these shades in here. I also wanted to mention that this is a great palette to travel with because you have a little bit of everything. At least for my skin tone, I can use any of these two to do my brows. In fact, I have in the past. You have bronzers over here. You can set your under eyes with any of these ones depending on your skin tone. You have eyeshadow. It's a all around palette. But this one would suit people that like matte shadows. If you live for the shimmer, obviously this is a very nice complementary palette, but this will probably not satisfy you. We are losing daylight, guys, and I'm filming with a little bit of light, natural light, plus a ring light. So if you see the light changing, I apologize. It's because it's pretty much getting dark already. But one of my favorite palettes is this one right here from Dose of Colors. This is my only Dose of Colors palette, but based on this, I would definitely try more from them. This is the Desi and Katie Francation palette. Well, the name of the palette is Francation, and it's a collaboration with Daisy and Katie. When you get the shade names in the back, which I am horrible with. I never really look for the shade names, and if they come in a plasticky, one of those acetates and it's separate, I just simply discard it. I prefer to point and say like I'm using this one right here. That's just my preference. But anyways, this palette, you guys, I am in love with. This is one of my favorite palettes of all time. And I mean, this one is in my top 3. I really love this palette. I'm not even gonna swatch the blues because I already have a love affair with them. But I love this black in here. I love this tone right here. The shimmers in this palette are very unique to my collection. Can we see how glittery they are? Don't mind this section because I left those swatches in there, but they are so... I don't know why the black did such a bad swatch, but I guarantee you that it's gorgeous in the eyes. and they are so glittery. This shade right here is more like a topper, like a glitter topper, but you guys, they are so intense and metallic, but the formula is so unique and different. In fact, you know, I can't resist. I'm gonna swatch that blue. Can we even deal? The mattes in here are very blendable, very easy to work with. I do not have any problem with these mattes, even though, as you can see, they're a little bit more on the neutral and cool side. I do not mind it. I love this palette. Everything makes sense to me. I love the glittery formula because I love glitter. I usually reach for this palette during the holidays because I love the looks that I can create with this. And they're also sparkly but not over the top. I love it. I also love to reach for it in New Year's. You know, every time there is a party that is a little bit more glamorous, I reach for this palette. This is truly one of my favorite palettes. I recommend it 100%. Let's do Too Faced. Too Faced, I do like their formula. Some people don't, but I do. But I have to say that this palette right here, I have a love-hate relationship. It was a gift from my husband as well. It's the Too Faced Sparkling Pineapple Eyeshadow Palette. Now, this palette smells amazing, and I love that the products from Too Faced have a scent. I am not sensitive, even though I have very, very sensitive skin. I am not sensitive to the scents or Too Faced products, at least yet, the ones that I have tried. But I must say that I have a love-hate relationship with this palette because I love the shimmers in this. Like this one, this one, this one, and this one. I would say that the one that I love the least is this one. I don't know why, but it's not as intense or as pretty as these three. This one is just insane. Let me give you a swatch of this guy right here. This one is insane, guys. Like that gold is insane. It does have some glitter particles, as you can see, but it's amazing. Now this color is beautiful, but I don't know why. Do you see what it does when you pick up too much? So it doesn't look as intense in the eyes, and in fact some people have had trouble with them. What I recommend is just to use it little by little, start building it up, but it's not a super intense shade by any means. It's more of like a duochrome wash of color type of situation, and it is beautiful, but it's a little bit strange, I must say. Now these ones over here are pretty. This one is a little bit more understated. It's not as dramatic as the other two. This one is, on the other hand, this one kind of has like the same, yeah, this one has more of a closer formula to the gold one. They are beautiful. Now the mattes on these, and by the mattes I mean especially these two right here, I do find these two shades to be a little patchy. I'm not gonna lie, I love Too Faced, but these two are patchy and they're a little bit hard to blend on the eyes. Mind you that I have only used this palette once or twice, something like that, because it's a recent addition to my collection, not because I haven't liked it, just simply because I haven't had the opportunity. But it is a good palette to travel with. It has a mirror, but I don't know, these two ones right here I don't enjoy too much. My first palette ever from Too Faced was the Just Peachy Mattes, and I bought this one when it was on sale. Most of my expensive palettes I bought them on sale. I'm gonna admit it. This one I love. I do not find the shades in here to be patchy, at least in my experience. And I love peachy tones. I do. I like to reach for this palette in the summer. I like to reach for it in the fall. I also like to reach for it in the spring. Pretty much the only time that I do not go too much for it is in the winter. Not for any particular reason, but these colors appeal to me a little bit more for the other seasons. But the pigmentation and the quality of the shadows in here, in my opinion, is good. Now it says mattes, but this one, Peach Sangria right here, to me has a little bit, it's more of like a satiny finish, but it still looks matte on the eyes. These are not the best swatches ever, but let me say that I've been doing swatches and I've been going over with my makeup remover wipe, so my skin is looking a little bit funky right now. So that's maybe why the watches are not the watches. What? The swatches. You know what? I'm traumatized already because my husband is very much into watches, and we've been talking about watches and we've been looking at watches and videos of watches, so I'm a little bit traumatized. The swatches are looking a little bit funky because of that. Anyways, you cannot judge an eyeshadow palette based on swatches, and this one blends beautifully on the eyes. I love the range of peachy mattes in here. There's like lighter tones, there's darker tones. To me, there is something in here for every skin tone, which I also love. In my opinion, I don't find that to be true for the Too Faced White Peach palette. I love this palette, but for some reason I think that the shades in here are a little bit geared toward lighter skin tones. I don't know, it's just that I don't see these deep enough for darker skin tones except for these shades over here. As you can see, even this one is not that pigmented, so I don't know how it would show up in darker skin tones, but I do love this palette. I'm pretty sure this one, it's similar to some of the shades that I have seen from Morphe and Jaclyn Hill. I do like the pigmentation in here. I like how they blend. I love the range of colors in this palette as well. It's more of a unique palette to my collection because I don't know, it makes sense to me. For some reason, I do enjoy this palette very much, and I have used it for the fall. Like these tones over here I use for the fall, and I find myself grabbing this palette in during the holidays as well because of this one right here. I do love this shade, Peach Passion. I think it's my favorite from this palette, definitely. But I also like these pinky shade right here, and this more like a mauvey purplish shade. I love it. There is also some cool tones over here that I do enjoy. Even though this palette is more on the cool tone, like all of these pretty much are cool tones, I enjoy this palette very much. I like it a lot. I love the variety of looks that I can create with just these little palettes. What can I say? There is a nice mix of mattes and shimmery shadows in here, and glittery actually, which I enjoy very much. I really enjoy this palette, guys. I also bought it on sale, let me mention that. The last one I have from Too Faced was also a recent addition. This one was gifted to me on my birthday. My birthday was in January, if you're curious. But this one is the Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette. I do not have any Too Faced palette in this packaging. There is other ones like the, how do you call the peach one? I can't remember the name of that palette, but that one was very famous. And also like the gold palette. Sorry, I don't know the names specifically, but they are very well loved by a lot of people and they are very famous. I do not have any one of them. Mind you that I got very much into makeup not too long ago. I fell in love with it when I recently came to the US, but I did not have the means to do anything. I did not know how either, so I pretty much started learning on my own, but it wasn't too long ago is what I'm trying to say. So those palettes are more older palettes. This one was a limited edition, but my mom got it for me for my birthday. She saw it on TJ Maxx and she purchased it, and I am so glad she did. I love the smell of this palette, I'm just gonna say that. And it has colors that I just love. I love this color in here, Midnight Snack. I love Spicy Mommy right here. I just love this palette, and I must say that I have seen the other spicy. This one is the extra spicy. The original one I think is just the spicy palette. I have seen it online. I do not like it nearly as much as I like this one. This one was like pretty much, she was spot on when she bought this for me because I love all the tones in here. This one is definitely a more warmer tone, but you get everything in here. There is a lot of transition shades in here. There is a lot of beautiful shimmery shades, and there is like glittery ones that I'm pretty sure is this one and these two right here, or these three, I'm not sure. Let's do some swatches. Let me start over here with Drizzlet, which is a beautiful shade. I love this shade. I have used this one, I'm pretty sure it was like twice. Again, I haven't had the time to really dig into it, but so far I'm loving it. I really do love these shades, and I do like the formulation in this palette. This shade right here, it's very intriguing to me. I really like this shade, soft and sweet. It's a very nice pinky color, which I love those kind of tones. And this one is Hot Tamale. I'm looking at this palette and I'm seeing myself in it because I do love these tones. Definitely looking forward to playing with this one a little bit more. Let's continue with BH Cosmetics, and the first one that I have right here is Take Me Back to Brazil. This was my first BH Cosmetics palette, and it is very colorful, as you can see, but this is literally my only colorful palette like this. This is the one that I reach for every single time that I need to do a very colorful look. There are very unique and very bright colors in here. I find the quality to be very good. They are very pigmented as well. Doing some random swatches. Let's see. I recently did. Can we even deal with those colors? Like, I don't know if you're seeing them well, but these are amazing. They do not look swatched nearly as pigmented, except for that blue. They do not look nearly as pigmented as they look on the eyes. Now, they're not as pigmented as the Juvia's Place shadows, but they are very colorful. They stay true to color in the eyes, and they are very good quality shadows. I recently did a video using the green tones in this one because I had never worn greens on my eyes and I kind of wanted to try it, and I loved the end result. So if you want to watch that video, I'm gonna try to link it down below. Hopefully I don't forget. Once again, this is a very nice colorful palette. Let me say that the only things that I think are pretty much useless for me are these three right here. I have never touched those three except for swatched. Now these ones are good to highlight with, but they do have an undertone, or not an undertone, they do have a shift. I don't know if you can really see it because they're swatching a little bit weird, but yeah, this one right here has like a pinkish or peachy shift, even though I think, again, my skin is a little bit weird from all the swatching and removing the makeup. Anyways, this one has a more like a pinky or peachy shift, and this one is a little bit more pigmented and it has kind of like a yellowish or greenish shift. And this black right here, honestly, I had never touched. This is the first time, but it looks nice. It's kind of funny because I had never touched it. It's just black is not a color that I typically pair with bright colors, just because I want my bright looks to be very bright. The second palette that I have from BH Cosmetics is the Desert Oasis. This one has highlighters on this side and it has a bunch of shadows on this side. This is also a palette that I think is very versatile because you can use the highlighters on your eyes. If it works for your skin tone, you can use one of these two as a bronzer. I have used this shade on my brows before, and you have a nicer range of colors. The pigmentation and the quality of the shadows is amazing, but they discontinued it. I was so sad to learn that they discontinued this palette. I just could not understand why in the world would they discontinue this palette when it is so amazing, you guys. This palette is beautiful. Can you even see that pigmentation? This is a palette that I typically reach Mainly, I reach for it all year round, but I find myself thinking about it when it comes to summer. Maybe it is because of the highlighters. I have no clue. Can we even see the highlighter right there? Like, it is super pigmented, very high quality, very beautiful. It's just amazing. There is deeper highlighters over here that obviously I cannot use as highlighter, especially these two. This one I can, but not these two. But I can definitely use them on my eyes, but I am glad that they included deeper highlighters because people with darker skin tones can use them too. My only issue with this palette, if any, is that there are only 5 mattes in here. Sorry, this sounds when it gets close to the floor. So there are only 5 mattes in here and it's a decent sized palette. So there is only one to deepen the look. There is 2 for transition, well maybe 3 for transition, and this one to set because it doesn't really highlight much. It is pigmented but it doesn't really highlight much on my skin tone. It does something for the brow bone. I do like it for the brow bone, but that's about it. I don't typically reach for it for the brow bone anyways because I like highlighting with the highlighters. You can do a complete look with it, but I wish there was a little bit more mattes in here and not so many closed toned shadows. I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but for example, these two are close in my opinion. Even this one with these two are a little bit close in shade. I don't know, there is a lot of highlighters here, which is nice, but the tone of these highlighters or the color of these highlighters, some of them do look very close to these three especially. So in my opinion, they could have used one of these 3 spaces to put a little bit more mattes, but that's just my opinion. But anyways, they discontinued this palette. If you can get it any other way, meaning in Amazon, in any other place, I do recommend this palette. I mean, I think you can see by the swatches that is a very nice palette. So definitely recommend it. It is a shame they discontinued it, but I do enjoy it very much. We only have a few left, guys. Just bear with me. We only have 2 brands left. And let's start with Huda Beauty because I do have more Colourpop. Huda Beauty. I have 4 palettes from Huda Beauty. This was my favorite palette ever. This is the Huda Beauty Sapphire Obsessions palette, and this was a gift from my husband. He knows how much I love blue eyeshadows, so he gifted me this palette, and I do enjoy it very much. This is how I got introduced to Huda Beauty's formula, and I must say that I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I do. Now the mattes on her, at least on this palette, are a little bit hard. I'm not gonna lie, they feel a little bit hard to the touch, but the pigmentation is there, the quality is there. She is a little bit more pricey, but in my opinion, her formula is different. Let me show you these ones too. These ones are a little bit of a cross between a glitter and a metallic shade. These 3 in my opinion. But in my opinion, there is different formulas in here. You get these ones that are a little bit more glittery, as you can see, but these ones are true metallics. As you can see, this is a little bit more of a glitter topper kind of situation, in my opinion. These ones are definitely more pigmented. And as you can see, these 2 are a different formula than these 3, but I do truly enjoy this palette. I really do love it. 2 palettes that I also love from her and I didn't expect to love as much as I do are these 2. The Nude Light Obsessions and the Nude Medium Obsessions. I don't know if it's like Nude Light or Light Nude, you get my point. But these ones, I love this palette. I cannot express my love for these palettes anymore. Let me open them and do them together because they're from the same family. This shade right here, oh, I love that purple right there. Now I'm gonna say that the formula between this one and this one feels different, but the formula in these two palettes I really like. It doesn't feel too hard as in this one and other palettes. It doesn't feel as hard, and the colors are just stunning. Can you see that? The pigmentation is very nice. The colors are just, they have my name written on them. I do enjoy the mattes very much on these palettes. They are very blendable. I do not find to have any issues with them. Both palettes work beautifully on my skin tone. Let me give you some swatches of this one too. You guys, I am really in love. My favorite shades are on this one is definitely this shade right here. I love these two mattes over here. I cannot express my love for these palettes anymore, you guys. I really do enjoy them. I find these palettes very easy to travel with. They do have a mirror, but it's a decent size mirror, big enough so I can do my makeup with it. Obviously I have to back it up and look into a bigger mirror from time to time just to make sure I'm doing things right, but I still can do my makeup with them, and they're so compact, so easy to travel with. I just find myself reaching for these palettes over and over because I just love all of it. But I must say they're a little bit on the pricier side. These two were a gift from my mom as well. She did give this one to me for my birthday as well this year. I almost did not want to take those swatches off, let me tell you. But the last palette that I got from Huda Beauty is the new Nudes. And I feel like I said Huda Beauty instead of Huda Beauty, but you got it. This palette was my second one from Huda ever. And I do enjoy this palette very much, and it is mainly because of the shades in here. I do love these mauvey tones, the nudes in here. These three, no, not these three, these four are just gorgeous shadows. Like, I do enjoy the formulation on these ones very much, even though I must say that they throw me off a little bit, because just from looking at it, sometimes you don't know what color is gonna come out of them, and I picked up a lot more on the last one. But sometimes you look at them and you don't know what color truly they are, especially this one. This one kind of throws me off sometimes, but they are just beautiful. That formula is so smooth, so buttery, just like the ones in these palettes. So buttery, not these palettes, I mean these palettes. I have yet to use the glitters. It's kind of weird, but I love glitters so much, and I have not used those two. Again, just because of the lack of time and the lack of opportunity. But the mattes in here blend beautifully as well. They last pretty well on my skin. This one right here, which is the only metallic from the palette, it's also beautiful. I still haven't used it on my eyes, but I have swatched it a couple of times and it is amazing. I do enjoy all of these shades very much. I was actually surprised that I loved it so much, especially because pretty much this is a cool tone palette, but I do love it. I love the formula, even though the mattes in here are a little bit harder to the touch than the ones in here. But I do love the looks that I can create with this palette. It is the priciest palette that I own, but to me, it is worth it. I did buy it myself one time that I wanted to spoil myself. But anyways, now moving on to Colourpop. Who doesn't love Colourpop? They're super affordable. Their packaging is amazing. The quality is there. Who doesn't love Colourpop? But let's begin with the Princess palettes. I have these two right here. Wait, wrong way. I have these two right here. I have the Disney Designer and Colourpop. This was the first one that they ever launched with Disney, and this one it's a princess thing. And I also have the most recent one that they did with Disney, which is the Midnight Masquerade. And I must say that I love them both for very different reasons. because they have different colors inside. Now the packaging on these ones is beautiful. It's just stunning, and the colors in here are very nice. I must say that I do like the first one a little bit better, but there are things that I like on the second one a little bit more. Like, I love the row of mattes here, so I can use for like my transitions. I love this row right here with metallics. They are super intense. Don't mind my swatches, my skin is already screaming for help. But these metallics are are next level. This one looks similar than one that I just swatched from Huda Beauty. This is the funny part about swatching things after the other ones, because you end up discovering similar shades. But anyways, there are shades in here that I absolutely love. Can we even talk about this black right here? In fact, I'm gonna put it a little bit closer. Hopefully you can see it. That black is so shimmery. Even though those shades that have shimmer in them but they're mattes, when you use them with a brush in your eyes, unless you press them with your finger on top of like a tacky base, the shimmer doesn't show up as much because it doesn't grip to the eye. It more like flies everywhere. But I love shades like this, and as I just said, I love to apply them with, I don't know, glitter glue, or put a tacky base underneath so the glitter would stay. And I just love this palette. It's super blendable. The shades in here are amazing. I do not have trouble with any shade in here, really. It's just beautiful. I definitely 100% recommend this one, and it's super affordable. As I have said, obviously it is Colourpop. Now this one is a more recent addition to my collection. This one was a gift from my husband for my birthday, and there is shades in here that I absolutely love. There is two pressed glitters in here. There is metallics. This one has mattes a little bit more scattered than this one. Actually has a row of mattes in here deeper than these ones, which makes them very nice complementary palettes. This one has definitely more mattes than this one, but the mattes in here just speak to me. I love these pinky browns. I just love these tones. But anyways, we were talking about this one. There are tones in here that I do still love. My only con with this palette is that you get some shades that in my opinion are a little bit disappointing, like Merryweather. Like, it's a very deep navy blue, and I was so excited about this one, and I'm not showing you yet on purpose because I was so excited about this shade, and then when I came to swatch it, what? Where is it? It does show up on the eyes, but it takes a little bit of work to make it show up. So this one is a little bit harder pressed. It's kind of hard to explain, but as you can see, there is no fallout, there is no excess product coming out of that shade, and you really have to build it up. It takes a little bit of effort, and it does take a little bit of skill to work with this one. And there was another one, I am not sure, but let me see. Maybe it was New Dream. Nope, New Dream is fine. I know there was another one in here. This one, Quasimodo, it's next level pigmented. It is crazy. Nutmeg. I'm trying to find the other one. I already forgot, but I think it was Gaston. Nope, apparently it's just Merryweather. I don't know why I thought there was another one. But yeah, Merryweather was a little bit of a disappointment for me. From the glitters, I have used this one a little bit, and I must say that the Colourpop glitter formula was what replaced my Bomb.com palette from Huda Beauty. It was one of the first palettes that I showed you in the video, but this formula is a bomb. It does stick to the eye a little bit more. It almost doesn't even need glitter glue. There is other shades in here that are amazing. Frog and Wife is such a beautiful shade, and I know this swatch is a little bit weird, but it is just stunning. This color is just stunning, guys. I love this one. I love Mama Ori. It's just a beautiful shade as well. This is more of a diffuse swatch, but you get my point. That one is beautiful. Mrs. Potts is beautiful. The shimmers in this palette are beautiful, guys. They're just beautiful. But then again, I was very disappointed at this blue. I don't know why it bumps me, but it does because I was so excited about that shade. I still recommend these two palettes for sure. Now, one palette that I do love, and I do love even the packaging, is the Sweet Talk palette. I encountered that this shade has the same problem as the Merryweather on the Midnight Masquerade palette. It is same thing. It is a little bit hard on the pen and it doesn't pick up as much. Well, actually it picks up more, but that might be because my hand is a little bit wet still from the makeup wipe. But I do find it a little bit hard in the pen. This palette, it's a little bit pinky and it's a little bit warm. It's great for spring. It also is great for fall. It has two glitters right here that again I have yet to try. It has a super shock shadow formula here and I absolutely love it. It is called Side to Side and it's so sparkly, and the tone, I just love it. I love that there is a deeper shade here and there is a lighter shade, but it's not too light, meaning it serves me to set my eyes, but it also serves me as a very light transition shade. There is a nice blend of mattes in here. These two are a little bit deeper. These ones serve me for transition. This one can even be to deepen up a little bit more the crease for me, but it is just beautiful. And it's a little bit different because you only get two metallics, and again you even get a super shock shadow right here, which is awesome. This palette, to me, it's an amazing palette. If you just want to try one thing from Colourpop that has a sample of everything, this is the palette to try. The only bad thing I have to say about this palette is that in the second time I was gonna use it, this one completely popped out. But the good thing about that is that since it is a super shock shadow, you can just press it back in because it's kind of like a jelly formula. Not a jelly, but it's kind of like a creamish. It's a mix between a cream and a powder. You know what I'm saying if you are familiar with the super shock shadow formula from Colourpop. But this one has popped out for me a few times and I have pressed it back in a few times still. Moving on to the next palette I have the Colourpop Pretty Please palette. Now this one is a magnetic palette that comes with these shadows separately, but you buy this whole set together. Hopefully I'm making sense. But these glitters right here, especially these three right here, you guys, these three, it's what I gravitate toward all of the time. I just absolutely love these three glitters right here. The formula of them, the colors of them, how they look in the eye. I love it that they have little pieces, especially these two. They have larger pieces of glitter and smaller pieces of glitter, which gives more dimension. It has also these shadows over here. It brings like 4 mattes and these two right here. I must say that in my opinion, for my taste, these shadows don't complement these glitters the best. Maybe some of them, like these three right here, maybe they do, and maybe this one too. They are amazing shadows. I love the shadows in here, but I never use them together just because to me they don't make a lot of sense to use them together. Maybe I'm weird, but that's just my taste. But these metallic shadows here are gorgeous. Especially this one. I really like this pinky one. The mattes here are amazing as well. I am not gonna swatch the glitters, guys, because they get everywhere. I mean, do you remember the first 2 swatches that I did from the bomb.com palette? Well, I took a break to go to lunch, and after that I watched a short video with my husband, and my husband already had I have no idea how. He already had some specks of glitter on his face, and I did remove all of the glitter, or I thought I did, but somehow he ended up with glitter on his face. I'm not swatching them because of that, because they do get everywhere and I'm touching other palettes, so this will be a big mess. But anyways, love, 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 love this palette, especially for the glitters. To me, are worth it. Now, I haven't touched these shades too much other than swatch them, but the glitters I have used a ton. The last palette I have here is the Colourpop Like You a Lot. This was a gift from my husband. It was more of a random gift, and I absolutely love it. I definitely didn't expect to love it as much as I actually do. I saw it and I was like, oh, it's pretty, but I don't see myself reaching for it. Well, boy, was I wrong. I have used this palette, I think, about 3 times already, and I haven't had it for a long time. But I have already used it 3 times and I have absolutely loved the look that I created with it. I do have a lilac look video with this palette. If you want to watch it, I'm gonna link it down below. The pigmentation of these shadows is amazing, you guys, and the colors are just stunning, just stunning. Be aware with the shimmers because they're a little bit of a softer formula, so they can be crumbly and fly everywhere or have fallout, but they are just beautiful. Again, do not mind the swatches, guys. It's just my hands are already like, they have suffered enough today, and I do have very sensitive skin, so again, they're screaming for help at this point, but they are just beautiful. This one is more of a topper, let me show you, but this one does not have a lot of pigmentation, just because to me this one is more of an iridescent topper, but it's also beautiful. But these 3 are very, very pigmented and they are very beautiful. The matte work very well and they blend very well, and these colors are so complementary for my eye color. I have brown eyes. Based on this palette, I definitely want to try more monochromatic palettes from Colourpop, just based on this palette and how much I love it without expecting to. I really want to pick up other 9 pan palettes because this one I just loved. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave your comments down below in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Now it's time for me to go and wash my hands and my arms because I am full of leftover shadow from all the swatching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!